Alright, Sparking Zero has been out for a month now, and we've been fairly acquainted with the game. We have our issues. We're not going to get into that today. What we are going to talk about is when these DLC characters are coming out. Now, we already have Gamma 1 and 2 revealed to us, and a few others sprinkled in, but I don't think anyone has really gone over when each DLC is coming out. For Season Pass 1, we have 3 DLC packs coming out soon, with about 20 plus characters coming, so it's a sizable amount. The first DLC pack is going to be Dragon Ball Superhero, and that'll be coming out Q1 2025. Now I know, I said 2025, and you're like, what? Q1 is anywhere between January and March. But considering that the second DLC, which is Daima, is also coming out Q1 2025, that leads me to believe that in January, we're going to get Dragon Ball Superhero DLC. And then in March, we will also be getting Dragon Ball Daima DLC. It's a nice little gap for you to really get used to the superhero characters, because you're probably going to dump a lot of characters in this first DLC pack, and then we'll have a month of whatever, and then March will be Daima. After that will be DLC 3, which is Q2 of 2025. That I wouldn't be able to tell you when that's coming. My best guess would be probably May. If I'm being honest, probably May. But don't hold me to that. I truly don't know when that second Daima pack is coming out. But, you know, 2025, you hear that year a lot. That's pretty far still. Even where we are right now, it's like November 11th. It's pretty far. But in the meantime, in December, we are getting a big update patch. We don't know if it's going to fix all the problems in the game, but it would benefit us to, you know, get a patch before all of this happens, you know? So a few things I kind of want changed in the patch is, you know, super counter change. I know everyone's been talking about super counter. Super counter is the talk of the town. People getting hit, they getting out of combos for free, essentially. Like, this thing is a menace. And I know there's like ways to play around it, but the mechanic is too spammable. Now, when I say spammable, it's you can use it without really any repercussion, you know? It's kind of like sparking Ki Blast. They're just kind of throwing it out there. Same thing with super counter. It's at this point where people are getting hit and they're just mashing super counter. Now, the counter play to that would be to do your rush attack and cancel into perception. So when they're mashing it, they would mash into the perception. But like, cool. I'm not complaining, but you know, I'm complaining. A fix for this would, for me, would be to just increase the lockout period for a super counter. So you can leave the super counters alone, like timing wise, you can leave it alone. But if they miss a super counter, then they're locked out for a certain period of time. It'll maybe give us an indicator that they're locked out. Kind of like how Killer Instinct does their lockout. You know, it would tell you if they're locked out. But yeah, that needs to be a thing, because people are kind of just spamming super counter without even like really thinking about it. At least it's not like how Tenkaichi 3 was, because Tenkaichi 3, that game was frame one. You have to you have to really know how to super counter in that game. So I personally didn't do it, but I know people who really mastered it and really showed the strength of that mechanic. Another thing I would like to add to the game is key sickness. I know that's been the talk of the town recently. Key sickness, if you don't know, in Tenkaichi 3, it wasn't called key sickness. We just kind of called it like a delay or something like that. It wasn't called key sickness back then. When you use full power, or when you use after image strike, or any really strong skill, you charge key very slow. Like, I'm talking like hella slow. So that was the downside of using something that powerful. You would get full power, right? But you better finish off your opponent, because if you don't, you're gonna be charging way slower and you'd be at disadvantage for a long time. So that's why key sickness was there, is to balance the broken abilities that are in the game. We don't have that anymore, which is why I say Tenkaichi is not an unbalanced game. There was a lot of stuff in that game that was tailor-made to make sure the game plays good and it was fun. I don't know why people keep thinking Tenkaichi is this broken game. Like, there's some broken stuff, like Cell, Perfect Form Cell. That game was pretty balanced, to be honest. And the last thing I would want changed. Now, this may be a personal thing, but this, I feel like this has to go. I think the sweep loops need to go. Now, I do it a lot. This is one of my main things I do in Sparking Zero. But I think the sweep loops, I don't know. I think they should just disappear. The fact that they're there is kind of weird in the first place, but you know, what can I do? Me personally, I just think they should go, even though I use them quite frequently. I don't know. It's very strong, and normally you'd be like, why is this dude asking for something that's super strong to just disappear, or like something that you can escape out of that is super strong? Why would you ask that to disappear? I don't know. I'd like that to be gone. I don't know. If it stays, I have no problem. I have no issues of it being. I don't even have an issue with it being there. This is more of a change for people. I guess this is a casual change, even though I'm not a casual. Just so that you don't have to worry about that. That definitely wasn't a thing in Tenkaichi, and I went back and looked at it. Yeah, that was not a thing because you couldn't even do another sweep after you did the first one. You would just, nothing would come out. So, you know, it's, I don't know. That could say go, I don't care. I just, that was just a suggestion. But mainly, right? And this is a big one because I really want this to be fixed for at least my characters. Maybe there's some other characters that this happens to. But Raditz, I know. Who the fuck cares about Raditz? I care. Real quick. His rush attack, amazing animation, looks cool, right? Why am I punishable on hit? I think that needs to be that needs to be fixed because I can never use my rush attack because I'm stuck in this pose and they can just charge me and I die, or they recover and they do a beam or an ultimate blast and then I die. So I think that needs to be changed. Just reduce the recovery on Raditz's rush attack. Cool. All right. That's pretty much that's my last one. I don't want to ramble too much, but yeah, I hope this patch fixes a lot of the issues that we have in the community right now, because if they don't, this game is going to suffer, and I mean really suffer. People already changed their minds about, we don't want this game to be balanced. They changed their minds already. They want this game balanced. And we've been saying this from the beginning, but this game needs balance, or at least needs to be like Tenkaichi 3. A little bit, just a tad, because the stuff that they changed makes no sense to me, at least, as someone who played the original games. It makes no sense for you to remove key sickness for one. Doesn't make sense. But what do you guys think? Leave your opinions in the comment section down below. And subscribe. I'm trying to get that big 10K, so if you can help me out, I'd appreciate it. With all that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. And remember, stay determined.